And he made the altar of burnt offering of shittim wood. 5 cubits was the length thereof, and 5 cubits the breadth thereof. It was 4 square, and 3 cubits height thereof. And he made the horns thereof on the 4 corners of it. The horns thereof were of the same, and he overlaid it with brass. And he made all the vessels of the altar, the pots and the shovels, and the basins, and the flesh hooks, and the fire pans. All the vessels thereof made he of brass. And he made for the altar a brazen grate of network under the compass thereof, beneath unto the midst of it. And he cast 4 rings for the 4 ends of the grate of brass to be placed for the staves. And he made the staves of shittim wood, and overlaid them with brass. And he put the staves into the rings on the sides of the altar to bear it withal. And he made the altar hollow with boards. And he made the laver of brass, and foot of it of brass of the looking glasses of the women assembly, which assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he made the court on the south side southward. The hanging of the court were of fine twinned linen, 100 cubits. Their pillars were 20, and their brassen sockets 20, and the hooks of the pillar and their fillets were of silver. And for the north side the hangings were 100 cubits. Their pillars were 20, and their sockets of brass 20, the hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver. And for the west side were hangings of 50 cubits, their pillars 10, and their sockets 10, and the hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver. And for the east side eastward 50 cubits, the hanging of one side of the gate were 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And for the other side of the court gate, and this hand and that hand were hanging of 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. All the hanging of the court round about were of fine twined linen, and the sockets for the pillars were brass. The hooks of the pillars of their fillets of silver, and the overlaying of their chapiters of silver, and all the pillars of the court were filled with silver. And the hanging for the gate of the court was needlework of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen, and 20 cubits was the length of the height, and the breadth was 5 cubits, answerable to the hangings of the court. And their pillars were 4, and their sockets of brass 4, their hooks of silver, and the overlaying of their chapiters, and their fillets of silver, and all the pins of the tabernacle and of the court round about were of brass. This is the sum of the tabernacle, even of the tabernacle of testimony, as it was counted according to the commandment of Moses, for the service of the Levites by the hand of Ithamar, son of Aaron the priest, and Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah, made all that the Lord had commanded, made all that the Lord commanded Moses. And with him was Aholiab, son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan, an engraver, and a cunning workman, and an broidered in blue and in purple and in scarlet and fine linen, and all gold that was occupied for the work and all the work of the holy place. Even the gold of the offering was 20, and 9 linen with and was 20 and 9 talents and 730 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary. And the silver of them that were numbered of the congregation was 100 talents, and the 1,703 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary. A bekah of every man, that is half a shekel, after the shekel of the sanctuary, for every one that went to be numbered from 20 years old and upward, for 600,000 and 3,550 men. And of the 500 talents of silver were cast the socket of the sanctuary and the socket of the veil, and 100 sockets of the 100 talents, the talent for a sock. And of the 1,775 shekel he made hooks for the pillar, and overlaid their chapiter and felted them. And the brace of the offering was 70 talents and 2,400 shekels. And therewith he made the sockets to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the brazen altar, and the brazen gate for it, and all the vessels of the altar, and the sockets of the court round about, and the sockets of the court gate, and all the pins of the tabernacle, and all the pins of the court round about.